When we picture the animal kingdom, we tend to imagine a gallery of perfectly engineered masterpieces, creatures designed with grace, balance, and a stoic, quiet power. Every limb, lung, and fang was forged in a ruthless, chaotic trial-and-error arms race spanning hundreds of millions of years. Nature doesn't award points for aesthetics. Every organism you see today is simply the surviving answer to three basic, relentless problems: how to move, how to eat, and how to endure. To understand the reality of life on Earth, we have to look past the beautiful facade. We must examine the bizarre, physics-defying biological hacks animals use just to see another day. Movement is life. Navigating the thin, freezing air of high altitudes or the crushing density of a riverbed demands extreme biological engineering. Look at the peregrine falcon. To catch prey mid-flight, it folds its wings and lets gravity take over, entering a free-fall dive called a stoop. It hits speeds over 240 miles per hour, beating a Formula One car and making it the fastest animal on the planet. Diving at that speed creates a fatal physical problem. The air pressure should explode the bird's lungs. To survive, the falcon evolved tiny cones inside its nostrils. These structures act like jet engine diffusers, safely breaking up the airflow. On the opposite end of the aerodynamic spectrum is the hummingbird. Its solution to the air is absolute hovering stillness. To achieve that lock-solid position while drinking nectar, it pays a massive physical toll, frantically flapping its wings 75 times every single second. Then there are the animals that completely ignore the rules of their environment. The hippopotamus spends up to 16 hours a day submerged in rivers. Yet, incredibly, it has absolutely no idea how to swim. Instead of fighting the water to stay afloat, the hippo evolved a skeletal structure and body density so heavy that it sinks like a stone. It navigates deep water simply by walking or hopping along the riverbed. Evolution plays no favorites between aerial mastery and blunt force density. As long as the physical trick successfully secures the next meal, the trait survives. Long before these modern hunters existed, the prehistoric oceans served as a wildly experimental testing ground for pure, unrestrained lethality. The megalodon, a shark weighing over 60 tons, hunted whales by removing chunks of flesh with teeth the size of your hand. Seeing the actual jaw structure of this animal helps you understand the sheer scale of what it meant to consume prey millions of years ago. Early jaw mechanics were terrifyingly creative in design. The armored Dunkleosteus didn't chew. It used razor-sharp bone blades to guillotine its prey with thousands of newtons of force. And the helicoprion actually grew a rotating circular buzzsaw of teeth right inside its mouth, rolling its victims through a conveyor belt of blades. Today, some modern scavengers bypass the traditional hunt completely. The bearded vulture waits for other hunters to finish their meals and leave. It feasts almost exclusively on what's left behind, the solid skeletons. Processing solid bone requires intense internal chemistry. The vulture's stomach acid is more corrosive than battery acid, adapted to break down dense splinters and extract rich marrow. Down on the ocean floor, the lobster takes digestive engineering a step further. It crushes clams and crabs with heavy claws, but it actually chews that hard-shelled food using a set of molar-like teeth located entirely inside its stomach. Put teeth on a spiral or hide them deep inside a stomach. If an adaptation grants an animal exclusive access to an untouched caloric goldmine, biology will find a way to build it. Securing food is only half the battle. When resources vanish or the temperature drops below freezing, survival becomes a test of extreme physiological endurance. Consider the snapping turtle. To survive the brutal winter cold, it will sink to the bottom of a frozen lake and hibernate for months without taking a single breath of air. Instead, it relies on a bizarre process called cloacal respiration. Specialized tissues allow the turtle to extract oxygen directly from the water through its rear end, while another organ manages waste by gathering urea so it can literally pee from its mouth. Lobsters tackle aging by repairing their telomeres, the protective DNA caps, achieving theoretical biological immortality. But a lobster's shell cannot grow. It must constantly molt. Eventually, the massive energy required exhausts older lobsters, and they die trapped, crushed inside their own inescapable armor. Notice the scale of the whales in this illustration, dwarfing the humans in the rowboat. To reach massive proportions, a blue whale mother pumps her calf with 200 liters of thick milk daily, forcing the baby to grow 200 pounds every single day. Cheating death is never a straightforward process. It requires heavy, sometimes terrifying compromises, turning the promise of immortality into a crushing trap, or demanding monumental daily transfers of calories just to survive infancy. Evolution operates as a frantic tinkerer, blindly testing any mutation that manages to keep a species alive for just one more generation. The timeline of Earth is littered with these wild experiments. It stretches from the ancient Camarasaurus, a giant tentacled squid wearing a medieval armor shell, all the way to modern reindeer, evolving to see ultraviolet light to spot food in the pitch-black Arctic winter. A totally silent owl, a vulture filled with flesh-dissolving acid, and a turtle breathing at the bottom of a frozen lake. They all prove the exact same point. The aesthetic beauty we admire in nature is just a side effect of brutal mechanical efficiency. The natural world is a sprawling showcase of bizarre hacks and extreme workarounds. In this landscape, the monsters never truly vanished. Evolution just continually rewrites the rules for what it takes to survive.